Hey guys, what is up? Well, we've got something really different for you today. We met one of you up here in Missouri about a week ago, and she was showing me on her coach some of the scratches that she has. And she was wanting to know what the best procedure was to deal with this. So today, we're going to get our buffer and a pad and some material, and we're going to show you how to do this. Coming up on RV Street. All right, so we are here in Joplin, Missouri, and we're looking at a Coachman. It's a Class A gas coach, and she asked us if she'd like us to spend a couple of days here in Mooch Dock, and so we said yeah. So then she began to show me these scratches that she's concerned about. So I'm going to try to get this in the light, and you can see in some of these dark areas, you see those scratches that maybe a tree branch came across, or some swirling going down here on the bedroom slide. I'm hoping that the camera can get this, but you get the gist of it. Pretty much all the coaches, after you've had them for a while, you're going to brush up against stuff and you're going to get little scratches. So she ended up buying this product right here, a Meguiar's Clear Coat Safe Rubbing Compound. And compounding to getting light scratches, that's a good thing, but it's what kind of compound? Because they come in different abrasiveness, right? So I went ahead and got a little bit of this on my finger, and this is a very fine compound. When we got our coach 4 years ago, it was heavily oxidized on one side. And I used 2 other different types of compound. I used an oxidation remover. It's kind of a cleaner, but it's also like a compound. But then on my real heavy duty oxidation, I use diamond cut compound. And with this diamond compound, I also had to use a wool pad. Now this combination right here is for a real heavy duty. I mean, when you really need to get aggressive because there's heavy oxidation, right? So I just kind of wanted to give you a background on what I have used in the past. But for today, we're going to try what she has bought because it's a very fine compound. And let me show you what we're going to tackle today. Okay, so we're back here on the back, very rear storage panel on the passenger side. And this is what we're going to do for our test area. We're not going to address those scratches way up on top because I just don't want to get up on a ladder. But I did see some of these other scuff marks and stuff like that. If you look down here, you can see where she even actually, or somebody had scraped here and removed the paint. Well, we can't do anything about that, but we are going to try to address these scrapes, these scuff marks, and so forth. So what we're going to use, you've seen me use this before when I did that washing video down in RGV. This is my Meguiar's polisher. It's a dual action polisher and it's variable speed, okay? I use these type of foam pads. All this stuff will be in the description so you can get all the specifics on that later. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this compounding material that she gave me and we're going to give this a try. I've already taken a wet cloth and washed and got all the surface dust off of this area. So now we're going to compound. When you compound, we're going to use a slow speed. Okay, we don't want to use a fast speed and run the risk of overheating this area. We want to slowly just work the compound. So we're going to take it and we're going to put a little bit like that on there. We're going to take it and smear it with our hands. And we're just going to go in circles very slowly like this. You do not want to stay and hold this in one place, okay? We want to get a kind of a working action along with the dual action of the polisher. This polisher, by the way, has a trigger where you push it in and you push that button and it stays. Watch what happens. I pull the trigger and hit the button, and now I don't have to hold the trigger. That locks it in place. I can already see it working some. But this is a new pad. And when you put that initial compound on there, that pad is going to absorb that polish or compound or whatever you're using. So until you start using it for a while and it gets saturated, you want to go ahead and add some more. Okay, so the total time I did 2 applications, about 45 seconds or a minute on each rotating session. And now I'm going to take a wet cloth because I want to see what that amount did. I need to gauge how much progress I'm making with that amount of application. So after I've wiped it with a wet cloth, and you can definitely see the difference. I would say we've gotten 50%, maybe even 60% out of that. A lot of that scuff mark has already been removed. Now this one right here is a little bit deeper. And that it doesn't feel like it back here, but up here it may have gotten into the clear coat a little bit. But this area can still be worked some more. So let's continue. Put on some more material. Come in here like this again. Okay, that application was a couple of minutes, maybe 3. And I more or less concentrated on this area here. And I came over on this side of the latch some. But as you can see, this is not rocket science, it's patience. That's what this job is, it's patience. You have to set aside a day, preferably when it's cool, so you don't overexert yourself. Get yourself a bucket or something to sit on, or a nice working platform, whatever you're doing, so you don't beat yourself up to, beat yourself up to death. But look at that there. That scuff mark and those scratches are totally gone, except for this one right here. Now I can see that this one here is still, it's fading some more after that 3rd application I just did. So here's what we're going to do on this one right here, because this tends to be a little bit deeper. We're going to go with a little bit more aggressive. We're going to go ahead and use this diamond cut. But I'm not going to use my wool pad. This doesn't require that. This diamond cut is a more gritty, more abrasive, but it'll be a little bit more aggressive in taking out this deeper scratch. So let's see what it'll do. There is no fast and simple way to do all these things. You got to look at each situation, assess it, and then come up with the combination that'll work for you. So we put a little diamond cut on there. We're going to smear it on there. One thing I want to point out is I am not pushing hard on this thing, okay? I'm letting the polisher do the work. I'm just basically guiding it and letting it do its thing. So that's the 4th application we have done. All the scratches and scuff marks are gone. I can get the rest of this part out right here, but this part right here is through the gel coat. And because this is not my coach, I'm not going to work on that a whole lot more. But I am going to work on this part. I'm going to use the diamond cut again. So you can see here, we've got 90% of those scratches and scuff marks out. You can polish many of these out. If you've got very light scratches, you don't need a compound. You use a polish, okay? The same pad that I'm using, you can see that I even write on the outside of my pads. I write what I use it for. This pad I use for polishing and compounding. This pad I use for REJEX to put on my final coat. As you know, if you follow our channel, I do not use wax. I have changed from wax and I use REJEX as the final coat to protect the coach from damaging UV. But we're discussing scratches right now. I used compound because this was pretty aggressive. It was a nice big scrape, had a couple scratches here. We got 90% of that out. If you have lighter scratches, a lot of times you can get them out with just a polish and just work that area with a polish. One of the key things to do is that you have to have the right polisher. Some people will go to a place like O'Reilly's or Walmart or AutoZone and they'll get one of those two-handed orbital polishers. It's not a dual action. This dual action polisher actually vibrates and it goes. I want you to see how that works. You see how that works? It oscillates. That's the word I'm looking for. But it oscillates, and it also is variable speed. So depending on what I'm doing, I not only get the oscillation action, but I also can control the speed. Another thing is the weight. By having this to be able to just do its deal, I don't have to sit there and press on it. I mean, you'll wear yourself out with one of those, and it won't achieve the results that you want anyway. So just as my always default disclaimer, I don't work for Meguiar's. I don't I'm not being sponsored by Meguiar's, but I've used Meguiar's products and their polisher and everything since I bought the coach. I mean, I know how to fix this stuff, and I did my research on which one polisher and stuff I wanted to go with, and so I decided to go with the Meguiar's family. And links for all this stuff is down below in the description text as always. So, a quick review. If you have light scratches, many times you can get them out with a polish, okay? If they are deep scratches or scuff marks or something like that, you're probably going to have to compound them. If you have oxidation, you're going to have to compound it. You cannot polish out oxidation. You have to compound it out. And if those of you that don't know what oxidation is, if you go to your coach and it's all white and chalky, or you rub your hand against it and it's all white on your hands, that's oxidation. You'll never, ever be able to make that coat shine until you remove the oxidation. And to do that, you have to compound it. Get the oxidation off, then come back with a clean pad and polish it and get it to a nice high shine. After that, then you put the final protection on it, which is REJEX. Okay, so like I said, we're here at a friend's house in Joplin, Missouri, and I wanted to do this test panel to see if this worked well. And it did. It got rid of about 80% of what was here, but then I had to go to a little bit more aggressive compound to get that deeper scratch. Well, now that we've done the compounding, the way you finish this out is you come back and polish it, get it all nice and polished, and then we'd come back and put a coat of REJEX on there. And of course, we would do that when we do the whole coach. So that's really about it, guys. I mean, I know every one of you practically that are watching, as you walk around your coach and you're going to see scratches. We have them, she has them, 99% of you guys have them. You bump into stuff, a chair rubs up against it, these things happen. Most of the time you can compound them or polish them out as long as it hasn't gone through the clear coat. Now, if it goes through the clear coat, you can do everything around it, but the clear coat, that's another thing. I mean, it's dug into and through the clear coat. But 90% of all the stuff you see on your coach, you can get them out. And it's just patience and time. That's all it is. So as always, guys, Everything that I've used here, I'll give you my list of the equipment, the pads, the compound, all that stuff. It'll be down below. You know where all that stuff is. Just go down below and the links will all be there. And by the way, Joni and I really, really want to thank you for using our links. I mean, it's a great way to say thank you for taking the time to show us how to do this stuff, because you can do this stuff. But we really thank you for using our links. It really helps us out. Likes and comments and all that type of thing. You guys know what to do there. So there you have it. This is another easy DIY job that any of you can do if you have the right equipment and just take a little bit of time. So until next time, this is RV Street. Stick around.